What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back again with the Mariners post-game recap. As always, before I get started, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Again, about 70% of my views come from non-subscribers on these videos. So if you're someone that enjoys, just hit that subscribe button. As you can see, new channel logo, new channel header. As I get closer to some of my goals, just upping the quality, I guess you can say. Should have some new microphone stuff coming along as well. So super excited for that. And I hope you guys are enjoying the videos much more than you're enjoying Mariners baseball at the moment. So let's get into it. As the title says, at least this one was close. I mean, honestly, like at least it was a good baseball game. I know that sounds kind of like defeated, but I mean, I was entertained by this game. I'll give it that. That's more than I can say about that game in San Diego. It's more than I can say about almost all the games in the Texas series. But let's seriously get into it. This team it's just so frustrating. It's just everything about this team right now is just frustrating on every level. That ninth inning was, Mariners fans, answer me, comment, let me know. Was there not a better microcosm of the season than that ninth inning today? Was that not just the Mariners season in a nutshell in that ninth inning? And it's a reason why I am like, I don't know what this team could have done. That ninth inning is just why this team is doing what it's doing. So let's dive into it. The Mariners lose to the Angels 5-4. They actually hit Shohei Ohtani pretty well. He gives up 3 runs in 5 innings, had 5 walks. They actually did a pretty good job against him. Jarred Kelenic hits a home run, his 11th, to give them a 2-0 lead. And then in the third inning, the Mariners give it right back. The Mariners have got to lead the league and just giving leads right back to the other team. They give it right back. I mean, bottom of the third, so not right away. Angels take the lead in the fourth. On it was a Ohtani homered in the third, and then Rengifo singled in the fourth. Mariners do tie it up in the top of the fifth. Ty France singles. And then, 1 out, runners at the corner. Jarred Kelenic grounds into a double play. Frustrating. Bottom of the sixth, they give up the 2-run home run to Mickey Moniak, and that ends up kind of being your ball game. Again, giving those runs right back. The J.P. Crawford error was super costly, led to the Shohei Ohtani home run, the Kelenic double play. I don't want to get on Kelenic too much. He had a home run and a walk. He had a pretty good game today, but just this team's inability to do those little things. And then the ninth inning. Mike Ford, awesome. Bottom of the order, by the way, 8 and 9. Mike Ford, home run. Good for him, awesome. Probably bought himself a few more games at the big league level. Jose Caballero works a walk and then steals second base. Being the pest that he is on the base pass, you've got your 1, 2, and 3 hitters coming up. Just a pathetic job by JP. Ty hit the ball kind of hard. I'll give Ty a little bit of a pass. Terrible at bat by JP. If you're going to do anything there, advance the runner. But guess what? Even if JP advanced the runner, it wouldn't have made a darn difference because Julio looks at a strike 3 that I have no idea what Julio's looking at. Does Julio have a clutch hit? I'm probably being too hard. Like, Julio's a kid. He's been amazing. He's going through a little bit this year. Even this year, despite the numbers not being what we want, he's still been a decent player. But, I feel like every big moment he comes up and he's just over-swinging, it seems like, or just trying to do so much in one at-bat. A terrible at-bat from Julio. Ty hit the ball pretty hard, and Ty was 2 for 5 with an RBI. I'll give him a little bit of a pass, but just super frustrating. Just frustrating to watch that ninth inning, the whole game. Just this team's in that rut where it just feels like everything they do is wrong. Almost just the opposite of last year, where last year it felt like all the buttons were right. Like Kelenic's double play would have been a hit. They would have tied the game in the ninth inning last year. And this year, it's just not happening yet so far. And it's just been super frustrating. Again, I apologize kind of being all over the place in this video. But it just, when you're going wrong as a team, it just feels like it takes every ounce of energy they have to win a baseball game. Everything to just squeak one out. When you're going right, it's like they just happen. There was games last year where I didn't feel like they were in it and they would just come around and win it. This year, man, it just feels like this team cannot buy a win. They can't do it. And I know Ohtani's really good. They're facing a really good pitcher tonight. And again, as I always say, in a vacuum, in this one game, is that a big deal? No. But the Mariners had their ace on the mound. There's no reason Luis Castillo can't beat Shohei Ohtani in one game. And in regard, they did pretty good against Ohtani. He didn't dominate them. They could have had maybe a couple more runs, but they did chase him after 5. They worked the count. They had some walks, so they didn't do a bad job. And Castillo I don't want to get in Castillo too much. 6 innings, only 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. That's fantastic. But 5 runs overall. The JP error was brutal. But giving up the home run to Moniak, it's like, can we get Mickey Moniak out? It's just super frustrating. I'm not going to get on Castillo too much, but the underlying numbers were fantastic for him today. It's just frustrating all the way around. And this team's inability to beat a decent baseball team this year is also so frustrating. They just cannot beat a winning team to save their lives. And also, this road trip is now super frustrating because it's coming off a pretty good homestand. Despite that series against the Yankees, that was a 7-3 homestand. That got them back in it. And then just an egg laid on this road trip. And I know Texas is really good. And they split with the Padres. And they still have a chance to win this series. It's one game. But honestly, do you guys have a lot of faith in Brian Wu and Bryce Miller right now, getting them the series win? And that's what's frustrating. That was so frustrating about the Friday game in Texas. With Luis on the mound, it felt like that was kind of the game to get. And if you can win that game 1, you kind of go, okay, find a way to squeak out another one of these and you got a series win. I just don't have a lot of faith in Wu and Miller right now. And that's not a knock on them. They're legitimate prospects. Bryce Miller has been really good at moments this year. I think Brian Wu's stuff actually looked fine in Texas. It was just too many middle 2-strike pitches. But you're asking a lot now for these two guys, and this is not necessarily a soft landing spot. Is it a little easier than Texas? Maybe. But do you have a lot of faith that Brian Wu's going to get through Ohtani and Trout tomorrow? I don't right now. And with the way the team is going, I don't have a lot of faith in general. And that's not to be negative on Brian Wu. The guy's making his 2nd major league start. I think he's going to be just fine overall. I like the stuff. I like the makeup. I think he's going to be okay. But right now, the way the team's going, it just feels like it's going to be a loss. And on Sunday, I just don't know. Is this going to be Bryce Miller's bounce back game in Anaheim? I don't know. I have a hard time seeing it. So, and when you're losing, that's just how it goes. It just everything. Envisioning a Mariners win right now is hard. Even the game they won on Tuesday in San Diego felt like it took every little thing they had to find a way to get that win. Every little thing. This game was there for them to win. It was. JP's error, Castillo giving up a couple home runs. The 9th inning, the double play by Kelenic. This game was there to be won. And if this team was going into this game at 34-27, I probably wouldn't make too much of a tizzy of it. Ohtani's really good. It happens. He hit a home run. Castillo's been great this year. You tip your cap. This team can't be tipping its cap right now. They've got to get wins. I said before the series started, they need to make a statement. They need to go sweep a series against a decent baseball team. The Angels are a decent baseball team, but they're not unbeatable either. And this team needs to make a statement. They still have a chance. They can still win the series, but they just haven't made that this year. They have not gone in and just had that series where they go in and surprise us a little bit and just kind of dominate it and say, screw it, we're winning this thing. And everybody needs to be better. Everybody. JP, terrible game. Julio, terrible. Ty was all right. Kelenic was okay, but that double play can't happen there. Teo over 2 with a couple walks. Cal over 2 couple walks. Those guys got to slug a little bit too. I'm all for the OBP, but those guys are paid to slug. Gino went from, I thought the power was coming, and he's been terrible since then. Good for Mike Ford having the home run, I guess. And I'm not going to get on Caballero too much, but it's just, I don't even know where I was going with that, right? It's just frustrating. So something's got to happen here. This team's got to step up and figure this out. And this is why I don't know if it was necessarily an off-season failure, because these guys right here just aren't producing, and this was still going to be the core. I know I say it in every video, and you're probably sick of hearing it, but if Julio isn't going to come through in that 9th inning, who is? Who is going to? JP's got to be better. It's It's all these guys. Cal's OPS is 703. That's not good enough. Teo's is 700. That's not good enough. 759 for Ty really isn't good enough. 738 for Julio. It's not good enough. Gino, 622. Not good enough. Even JP, 675. With a decent OBP, it's fine. But that shouldn't be your leadoff hitter. This team should be better. Where JP can hit 7th, 8th, or 9th and be more of a bottom of the order catalyst. Kind of like what Caballero's done. Luis Castillo, again, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts is fantastic. I probably shouldn't be getting on him, but you got to get Mickey Moniak out there. You've got to find a way to get to that 6th inning. Bullpen did a nice job. But yeah, this team's in a tough spot right now, and they're dropping. They're dropping. There's 100 games left, but how long am I going to say that? In 2 weeks, it's going to be, there's 86 games left. 75, 62, 50. 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually, these games count. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, you do have to win them. And I've been very patient. You guys can go back and watch my April videos. I talked about, I wasn't worried. Let's get to May before we really start assessing. I even said, if you could be 500 going into June, think you're okay. Now, the AL's been a little bit better this year, so I think you need to be a little better than 500. But this team's just not... It's step forwards and then step back. It's that great homestand, 7-3. Even with that Yankees series, it was a positive homestand, and now you're 1-5 on this road trip, and you've undone. Actually, technically, you haven't undone. Yeah, you're 8-8 if you combine that. So you've just undone that entire homestand in 6 little games. But lost both Castillo starts. Texas wasn't his fault. I wouldn't even say tonight's his fault, and that's another thing too. And again, the offense did okay against Ohtani. I don't want to... That's why sometimes it's tough, because it's like you want to find something to blame, and sometimes there's just not. Was Castillo... Is 5 runs given up good enough by Castillo? No. 3 of them were earned. Why can't this offense bail him out? Why can't they get 6, 7 runs and let Luis Castillo get a win in this game? If this pitching staff is not perfect like Logan Gilbert was on Tuesday, this team doesn't win. Has this team gotten a starter a win in a game where, like tonight, where Castillo was good? I mean, again, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts is actually really good. But, just in terms of earned runs and runs, good, average, meh. Has this offense bailed out a pitcher in one of those games this year? Maybe they have. I don't remember it. But if the pitcher does not go 7 innings, 1 earned run, this team does not win him the game. They do not do it. They should have bailed out Luis Castillo tonight. That 9th inning was pathetic. It was pathetic. Runner at second, nobody out for 1, 2, 3 in the order. After your 8 and 9 hitters, Mike Ford and Jose Caballero. If I'd have told you before the season that you got clutch at-bats from Mike Ford and Jose Caballero in the 9th inning, you'd go, who the heck is it? Like, we know who Mike Ford is. But, why are these guys even on the team? And then JP and Julio and Ty hit the ball hard. I know. Just leave him out at second. I mean, it wouldn't even have taken a hit. A grounder to in the hole to second by JP and a sac fly from Julio ties that baseball game up, and we might still be playing. They might have won it with the Mariners bullpen. You get Munoz in there, Sewald, you might win that baseball game. But no, Caballero, guess where he ended the game? Standing at second base. He should have stolen third. He should have had him steal third and steal home. Might as well try it. It would have been exciting. It's just so frustrating. And these guys have got to be better. There's nothing Scott could have done. It's not Scott's fault tonight. It's not. It's not the manager's fault. This is on the players. They've got to play better baseball. Now, again, managers, GMs are ultimately responsible for the results. And for that, Scott and Jerry deserve to, they've got to own this, regardless of what you think of what they should have known or shouldn't have known or anything like that with these guys. They bear the responsibility, but it's not Scott's fault that JP, Julio, and Ty didn't come through in the ninth. They need to come through. It's okay to blame the players sometimes. It's okay. It's okay to say JP should have had a better at-bat there. Julio's at-bat was not good. It's not a personal criticism. These are all good human beings. I have nothing against any of these guys personally. I don't even know them personally, and they don't know me or care about me. But you've got to be better. You've got to come through in those situations. If you're going to be, that's the mark of playoff teams. Get down and rally back and win. And they didn't do it. A mark of a good team is bailing out a starter when maybe he's good but not great. No, if you're not great starting pitching, you are not getting a W on this team. Hopefully that changes. It's going to be tough. You got two pitchers now, two rookie pitchers that coming off really rough starts, and Brian Wu and Bryce Miller. It's going to be a tough task against Trout, Ohtani, and company to get a couple wins, but they need to. They've got to win the series. I mean, eventually, it's just got to happen. It's getting to that point now where you're going to bury yourself too much. You're already behind Texas, Houston, and if you get swept here, you're going to be let's see, Angels would be 37-30, you'd be 30-34, be 5.5 back of the Angels. So you got to start winning some games here, and it's got to start tomorrow. It's tough. It's tough to say a must win, but I'm kind of doing it. I've stayed on the fence. Tomorrow's you got to win it. You got to find a way. Brian Wu's got to find a way. He's got to. The offense needs to step up, back him up, get him some runs so he can give up a couple and still be okay. Hopefully they do it. Again, at least tonight's game was dropping things. At least tonight's game was entertaining. I'll give it that. It was more fun than Wednesday, whenever that was, the Padres series. So that was better. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. I might be live with Rooftop Mariner for a play-by-play. We'll see how that ends up going. It's a maybe. And if not, I will see you guys all tomorrow for the post-game recap. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all tomorrow night. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. Don't let baseball get you down. And have a great night, everybody. Go Mariners. Peace.